Hello everyone, Kaoz here, and welcome to another old school RuneScape video. As a lot of you probably know, Barbarian Assault can be one of the most daunting experiences for a new player going for the torso or all level 5s for the diary, if you run with a team of randoms. If you go with a group of people who can show you the ropes and know what they're doing, it goes from unbearable to not as bad. And this updated Barbarian Assault video comes with an exciting announcement so you can be done with your goals a lot quicker. Boys and girls, for every new subscriber and a like on this video, my puppy Moneda will get a kiss and a treat. So check if you have done so already. Remember to join our Discord with the link in the description to run Barbarian Assault with me and our amazing community. The exciting announcement is that we have been getting more knowledgeable Barbarian Assault helpers in our Discord, and I will also be helping out with some runs to get people their torsos, and at a smaller pace, level 5 in all roles. If you are missing any of these, get the Barbarian role as soon as you join our server, and we will notify when helpers are available to go on a few learner runs. If helpers are not available, you can find other people to go on a few runs with. In today's video, we will go over a little summary of the activity, basic requirements, plugins and tiles, the layout for both the Barbarian Assault basement and the arena itself, and how to get a group going. We will go over every role, including how to be the main attacker if you want to get a team together, and we will close out with what each role should do for the queen, as well as rewards. I hope you're as excited as I am, so let's begin. So, like I did in my 2022 Barbarian Assault guide, let's go over a very quick summary of this activity so you know what you're getting yourself into. Which, I'm gonna guess that if you're watching this video, you probably already know a little bit about it, but maybe not the full picture. Barbarian Assault is a group activity where 5 people make their way through 10 waves of monsters, and completing a full run will award with points to spend at the shop. This contains a bunch of goodies we will talk about at the end of the video. It is mandatory for 5 people to be in a group, but there's only 4 roles that need to be fulfilled. This means that one person will be helping out with one of the 4 roles, which really comes down to just the 2 of them because the other 2 roles are easily done by a single person. The attacker will be killing fighters and rangers, and this can be done more effectively with ranged. The defender will lure runners to traps in the arena to get rid of them, and this could potentially be the most problematic role to get into, but nothing you can't get in just a few runs. The healer has 2 goals, and it is to poison enemy healers in the arena, as well as healing the team if low on HP. The collector will be picking eggs dropped by all monsters and load them onto the cannon. Teammates using the cannon to shoot should only focus on red and the green eggs. New to this video, there's a role called maining, which is for the attacker, but more on that later. Wave 10 spawns the Penance Queen, and each role must do something with eggs dropped by her to create an Omega Egg, which is the only thing that can damage her. When she dies, you'll be placed in the lobby, ready for the next run. So what exactly do you need to get started with Barbarian Assault? While there are players who could do with much lower stats and gear, we recommend the bare minimum level of 50 in defense, hit points and ranged. If you have a unique account with a limited defense, you can compensate with higher HP. For equipment, all you need to begin is a full set of rune for defensive stats, and a magic shortbow imbued along the best ranged armor you can wear. If you're an iron without access to a magic shortbow, get the best shortbow you can since we will be using the ranged combat style to deal decent damage. We will go over other potential items during the attacker role, so this will do for now. When you are level and gear ready, get yourself a games necklace to be teleported to the Barbarian Outpost. If you're an iron and you don't have one yet, which is pretty easy to make, you can simply run there from Arty. After you complete the tutorial though, you can use the Barbarian Assault to teleport on the grouping tab, which you can use every 20 minutes. And speaking of tutorials, in order to even access the activity, you will need to talk to Captain Kane to learn the ropes of Barbarian Assault and maybe get some interesting lore about the area. If you need to prepare before your run, there's a chest in the lobby, which is honestly not a terrible bank next to a teleport if you carry your games necklace around with you. When you and the team are ready, or if you want to venture into the depths of World 306 and hope to get a lucky team of randoms, the entrance can be found just south of the bank chest. Go to the room northwest to find a team for Wave 1. If you were running with a team, and any member left without sign of them coming back, you'll just have to bite the bullet and restart. To do this, right-click the door on the first room, and then click Reset. When inside, you have 2 options. The first one is to tell people what role you want to do, and you wait for someone to recruit you. When this happens, you will see a scroll on screen and will prompt you to click on your desired role followed by a green tick. The second one is to build a squad yourself. Grab a scroll from the table, right-click right role to pick your own role, and then right-click use the scroll on other people looking for a team who do not have a role you are missing. When they're done, you will see their name on the box at top left of your screen. In terms of roles, it is best to have either 2 attackers or 2 healers, especially in later waves, because double defender and collector either don't make sense or could be troublesome with an uncoordinated team. If you're forming your own team, we recommend recruiting people in the following order for something I'll explain later. For 2 attackers, it's attacker, attacker, healer, collector, defender, and for 2 healers, it's attacker, healer, healer, collector, defender. When the team is set, we are almost ready to go in. I say almost because we gotta take a moment to talk about useful Runelite plugins, settings, and the things everyone will have to do inside regardless of their role. These will be crucial for later when we talk about each role individually. Go to the plugin hub and download 2 plugins. The first one is called BA Minigame, and the second one is BA Call Highlight. For BA Minigame, you want to match your settings with the ones seen on video courtesy of our wonderful BA helpers. This will ensure your time at Barbarian Assault is smooth, adding a ton of quality of life to this ancient minigame. The other one will simply highlight what call you need to do, and it is as simple as activating it to make it easier. A default Runelite plugin is called Ground Markers, which I am sure you all know by now. We need important tiles marked around the arena, and instead of adding them manually, you can go to the paste bin in the description, copy all of the text in there, and then right-click the globe next to your minimap to import all of those tiles. You'll be prompted to accept the changes made to the tiles, and we will go over which role needs which tiles later in the video. These are all the plugins needed for learners and people just getting into Barbarian Assault. Just remember that, like my previous video, this guide in specific won't make you into a speedrunner, but rather give you all the knowledge you need for Torso and level 5s, and in case you want to be part of the BA helper team in our Discord. Okay, I promise we are almost ready to get in there. When your plugins are set and the team is locked and loaded, you will go down the arena. If your team was recruited in the suggested layout, they will be all closest to the dispenser, which give their respective resources, which we will talk about later. Every member will receive a horn, and the first thing you need to do is right-click it and pick the one highlighted in green. You will see information about the wave on the top right corner of your screen, being the current wave, what you need to do, what you need to call, and how long until the next call. You will need to tell your teammates what to do every 30 seconds, and without calling they won't be able to execute their tasks properly. Attackers will call for collectors and vice versa, and defenders will call for healers and vice versa. This is important because incorrect actions will result in penalties, which mean less points for your team. We don't need a PhD explanation of how points are calculated, but here's a very quick idea of how Barbarian Assault works in terms of points, which gauge your performance. Attackers and defenders start with a set number of points every round, but will be subtracted points for every mistake they do. On the other hand, healers and collectors start with just a few points, but will earn them throughout the waves. Specifically for healers, you will get 1 point for every 18 HP you heal your teammates if they're low on HP, and collector for picking up eggs. Finally, you cannot use prayers during your runs, and if someone dies or abandons the wave, the team will be placed outside. Also, if you're low on HP, you can go to the cannon platform since monsters cannot aggro you, and at the end of each wave, do not click on the level up button since you will use your points. So now, let's look at what every role needs to do. We will start with Defender since it's the most complex role from what you will see, but it's not too crazy thanks to a cool strategy we will be doing. When you start the wave, call out what your healer needs, and then click on the blue dispenser to get tofu, crackers, and worms. When your healer calls out what you need to do, you are going to drop good and bad food in specific tiles around the arena. Good food is the one correctly called by the healer, which will be highlighted by the plugin, and the other two are bad food. So if you start the wave with having to drop tofu, for example, this will be good food, and the crackers and worms will be bad food. You will drop 1 bad food here, 4 good on the tile north of the eastern trap, 1 bad food here, and 4 good food just south of where the runners come from. This drop pattern forces the runners to go towards the trap. It is worth noting that when you drop food, it will remain good or bad for the rest of the time it is on the ground. When done, grab the hammer and the 2 logs nearby, and go back north of the trap. We want the trap to be fully broken because this means 2 runners have been slaughtered, and this is important for something we will mention next. Step on the tile north of the trap, drop the rest of your good food after the next call, and then repair the trap. Don't forget to call for your healer. You will see more runners coming out of the cave, and you are going to stay on the tile you are on until all of them come out. When they stack next to you, step off the tile when the timer says any of the listed ones on screen, more commonly ending in a 9 or a 3. If done correctly, you will do what's known as a multi-kill and finishing all of them quickly. Now, how do we know when to step off? On screen right now, you are seeing the maximum number of runners that can be on the arena at once, and a +1, +2, or +4 depending on the wave. These are called reserves, meaning that when you kill runners, more will spawn throughout the wave up until the number after the plus. Wave 9 can be rough because it's 5 + 4, so you'll need to repair the trap twice with the 2 logs. You have reserves for defender, attacker, and healer, but if you did things right, and especially on later waves, you will be killing your reserves first, and you need to wait for your team. So to recap, call for your healer at the beginning of the wave, and use the dispenser. Drop 1 bad, 4 good, 1 bad, and 4 good, grab the 2 logs and a hammer, and on your way back, 2 runners should die. This means that there are no reserves for every wave except for 9. Step north of the trap, repair it, drop the rest of your good food after the call for your healer again, and then step off the tile on any of the timers you see on screen, more commonly 9 or 3. It is easier said than done, which is why we will help you out on your runs towards your torso or level 5s. Let's continue with the healer role, which is not as complicated as the defender, but on the other hand, it is the most click intensive out of the 4. When you spawn, call for your defender, and click on your dispenser to grab your items and then run northeast. You will use the food needed on the healers one by one to damage them, and a good strategy is to use the first food on the healers at full HP, second food on the healers at half health, and then re-poison them if there's no poison damage. At one point the call will change, and you need to call for your defender and they will have to call for you. Use new food on the healers to keep damaging them, and continue as normal. If you run out of food, go back to the dispenser to restock, or right-click if you want a specific type of food. In later waves, and if your teammates have a low defense, you can use your vial on the healing pool next to the ladder, and then use it on your team. The healer is the only one who can drink directly from the pool itself, so keep yourself healthy before you help others. Attacker is fairly simple. This is the best gear you can get with items like Elite Void and Anguish, and for your weapon you are going to grab the best one you have access to out of the ones listed on screen. For simplicity's sake, a magic shortbow for simple target, and the Veni bow for multi-target. It is worth noting that while we are mainly using ranged because of the attack speed and sheer power of the arrows, so leave your melee weapon or magic staves in the bank to focus on your bow and arrows. Interact with the dispenser and you will get 4 sets of arrows. The plugin will highlight which ones you need to equip, and the rule of thumb is that whatever the color of the spell you need to use, equip the arrows with the matching feathers. White for air, blue for water, green for earth, and red for fire. Call for your collector as you're running northwest, and just attack all the rangers and fighters you see. When you get a new call, just swap the arrows you needed to keep doing damage, otherwise you will lose points due to mistakes. This is a good part to mention that both the attackers and collectors want to stay left of the yellow tiles marked on screen, because healers will not be able to pull aggro, which will make things a little harder for your healer if it happens. When all the rangers and fighters are dead, go meet up with your team on the east cannon to shoot the healers and runners if your defender and healer need help. If you thought attacker was easy, collector is even better. Call for your attacker, and when they call for you, you'll be picking up eggs of the color required. A big tip I have for you is to always right-click, because sometimes the order of the items on the ground will change if you have ground items condensed into a single line. After the attackers are done killing all the fighters and the rangers in the area, head over to the east cannon to load up the hopper and shoot down enemy healers to speed up the run. If you don't have many red or green eggs and your main knows how to stall, load 1 egg at a time in the hopper by clicking on the egg and then the hopper. Wait for the main to start an emote stall before shooting, and you may want to leave a little early if you don't have any red or green eggs, so you have time to convert them and then meet with your team at the cannon. Eggs convert into a set rotation shown on screen, and higher collector levels mean better success rate when converting the eggs. Remember that eggs in your pouch do not convert. The final role for this video is something new called maining. This will be mostly for people wanting to join our server to help others achieve their goals, and will give you an idea of what's going on when you shoot eggs out of the cannon for both monsters and the queen. As a main, you'll be the one recruiting your teammates in the order we already mentioned. Copy as much of the setup you see on screen, and if you don't have any of the skill capes in my inventory, you're also seeing some alternatives. But most importantly, we will need a non-skill cape animation stall for wave 10. And the best ones are Shrink Me Quick Potion from Grim Tales, a Pet Rock from Fremennik Trials, and a Book of Egg from any Easter event obtained from Django. You will be given more in-depth information in our Discord, but the gist of this role is that you'll be an attacker, And thanks to skill capes, you'll be animation stalling for your healer to get more time poisoning enemies, and for people to spam click eggs without the counter depleting. When you execute a stall on BA, the game pauses and it doesn't really check for certain things. This is how you can shoot the cannon multiple times using minimal eggs. To do this, have the collector load up an egg in the hopper and perform an animation stall. When this happens, the team can shoot the cannon for the duration without having to reload. The collector will load up an egg followed by another animation stall and repeat until all of the enemies are dead. Keep in mind that animation stalling will extend the call if doing so through the call change, so ask the healer if they have enough food for the stall. Alright, so you made it to wave 10. Healers, attackers, and collectors will do things as normal, but defender changes just a little bit. You'll drop a good food and a bad food on a new set of tiles, and this time around you want to be standing west of the trap since runners will gather up here instead of north. When you're under control, nothing really changes, so step off when you see the timer hit 9 or 3, and when all of them are dead, it is time for the Penance Queen. The very first thing to do is that the main will stand here hovering over a common orb obtained after the contact quest. The platform in the middle will lower, and as soon as you see it appear again, click on the common orb. This will force spawn a yellow egg, which is the final piece of the puzzle. When the egg spawns, you will remember this acronym, CHAD-C. This means Collector, Healer, Attacker, Defender, and Collector. Regardless of how many attackers you have, one of them should grab spikes on the nearby mushrooms, and everyone will be standing on the marked tiles for the sequence to begin. The Collector will pick up the egg and use it on the Healer. The Healer will dip the egg into the poison pool and use it on an attacker. The attacker will use spikes on the egg and then pass it to the defender, and the defender will dip the egg into the lava and then hand it back to the collector. Now, why are we doing this with a single egg? If everything goes according to plan, and especially with a coordinated team, the collector will load up the Omega egg, but the team needs to wait for the main to do the Book of Egg emote before spamming shoot. If you don't do it this way, the team will need anywhere between 6 and 8 eggs to do this entire process to all of them, load them onto the cannon, and then shoot to kill the queen normally. If running in our Discord, this should never happen, and 1 egg will be enough. When done, you'll be placed back with a big room with numbers on it to give you your total points, and you can either get back in there to keep grinding, or go back upstairs to use your points. Talk to this NPC and browse through the shop where you can buy BA items, increase your total level, or do some gambling. The Hard Kandarin Diary has you purchasing and equipping a granite plate body, and the Elite Diary requires you to be level 5 in all roles. With an increasing number of points per role, you will enhance your abilities on the arena, all of which can come in handy to get to your goals faster. Leveling up attack means you'll deal bonus damage against rangers and fighters. Leveling up Collector allows you to carry more eggs in your bag and has a higher success rate of converting eggs. Leveling up Healer increases the amount of HP healed on your teammates, and finally, leveling up Defender increases your lure range on the runners. Although the wiki states that this is bugged and leveling up beyond the level 2 does not help, but you still need level 5 for your Elite Diary. You can use any remaining points on items coming from BA, which are good fashionscape, and more importantly, you can use them to gamble for chances at Elite Clues, and of course that highly rare Penance Queen pet from high level gambles. You can get extra items from these, but not really worth the time needed for a single roll. That being said, come join our Discord for some Barbarian Assault runs, and get your torso in level 5s faster than with randoms in World 306. So boys and girls, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed and you learned something useful or even fun. If you did, tell me what you think of Barbarian Assault and if you have torso, level 5s, or you just want to gamble or not, and if you include the term RSN and your username in your comments, you'll be entered in our weekly bond giveaway for which we will pick a winner on Friday's stream. I want to give a massive thank you to all the people you see on screen for supporting the channel monetarily. Your contributions go towards feeding my family with tacos and beans. If you like what I do here, consider clicking the subscribe plus button to see all the cool perks you can get in the videos and in the live streams as well on the Discord for a monthly pledge. In the next one, I don't know what I'll be doing since I'm recording this video well in advance, but I can guarantee it will be a banger. For now, I hope you have an amazing day, have an amazing week, and I will see you then. Peace.